In a quiet African town, the sun sank into the horizon, painting the earth in a soft golden glow. The day was ordinary, but within that simple evening lived a child whose innocence made him extraordinary. His name was Chima, a 7-year-old boy with a smile that could soften even the hardest heart. He was small, with a school bag bouncing against his back, dust on his sandals, and joy in his steps. His favorite word was always the same: "Where's my mummy?" He said it when he was hungry, when he was lonely, even when he was happy. His world began and ended with his mother's embrace. His father often lifted him high onto his shoulders, proud of his little boy, while his mother wrapped him in arms that smelled of warmth and love. But fate is cruel, and cruelty came swiftly. As Chima walked home that evening, a black van screeched to a stop beside him. In an instant, rough hands dragged him inside. His small voice cried out, breaking into the fading light, "I want to meet my mummy." But the van swallowed his cry and disappeared into the belly of dusk. The kidnappers took him to a filthy room. The air smelled of damp rot and decay. The shadows pressed in, and every corner whispered fear. He was only a child, trembling, holding his knees tight to his chest. Each day, he cried the same words: "I want to meet my mummy. Please, I want my mummy." His voice was small but carried the desperate power of innocence. But the kidnappers were deaf to compassion. They mocked his cries, sneered at his tears, and when he became too loud, they silenced him with blows. Still, every day he repeated his plea. Every night, through cracked lips and tired eyes, he whispered the same prayer: "I want my mummy." His little body grew weaker. His cheeks lost their glow. His voice became a faint whisper. Yet he never stopped calling. Until the last night. The boy lay on the cold ground, his breath shallow and broken. A tear slipped down his cheek, and with a trembling whisper, he said for the final time, "I want to meet my mummy." And then, silence. The innocent child was gone. When the news reached his mother, her wail shattered the air. She fell to the ground, her hands clawing the earth, her body trembling with grief. She cried until her throat gave no sound, her heart broken beyond repair. His father stood frozen, his face pale, his heart torn open. The tears came, hot and endless, but they did not last. They turned to fire. His grief hardened into a rage the world had never seen. That night, he took a dagger and sharpened its edge until it gleamed. He loaded a pistol, every bullet a vow of vengeance. He kissed his weeping wife's forehead, and with eyes burning, he walked into the darkness. The hideout of the kidnappers was silent, but within it dwelled evil. His father entered like a shadow, silent and cold. His dagger struck first, piercing ribs before a scream could rise. One kidnapper fell in silence. Another turned to flee, but the pistol roared. Fire burst from its mouth, and the man crumpled lifeless. With every stab, every shot, his father remembered the words of his son: "I want to meet my mummy." Those words echoed with each heartbeat, guiding his hand with fury. The kidnappers fought, but vengeance is stronger than cruelty. One by one they fell. The dagger sliced through the darkness. The pistol thundered like judgment. Blood stained the walls where once his son had cried. When it was done, the hideout was silent. Bodies lay across the floor, lifeless and cold. His father stood in the middle, dagger dripping, pistol heavy in his hand, his chest heaving with rage and grief. But in that silence, when the fire of anger faded, only sorrow remained. He looked around the room where his boy had suffered, and the echoes returned, faint, ghostly cries. I want to meet my mummy." His father fell to his knees. The dagger slipped from his grip. Tears carved lines down his face as he buried his head in his hands. His cries were raw, broken, almost inhuman. "Chima, my boy," he whispered into the emptiness. "I have avenged you. Rest now, my son." The night swallowed his voice, but the world would never forget. It would remember the innocent child who cried for his mother until his last breath. And it would remember the father who turned his grief into fire, who destroyed the evil that stole his child, and who wept in the ruins of vengeance. The story of Chima became a wound carved into the soul of the town, a reminder that innocence is too often destroyed, and that a parent's love, once broken, can burn with the fury of justice. And in the silence of that empty hideout, only the echoes remained. "I want to meet my mummy,"